Hello and welcome to this special edition of This Week in the Garden. We're not outside today. It's a beautiful day this Monday, but it's really windy, and so I couldn't hear myself over the audio. So we're inside for this special edition. It's finally May, and that means we're really done getting ready for our garden. We've talked about preparing and planting a garden, and this Friday's video is going to be actually planting a garden. And so I have a special video for you today where we're going to go on a garden tour of my garden, and then we're going to finish up with a poll. So you can choose the next video. This will be for May the 15th. So that's going to be the following Friday's video. So the first part of our garden tour, we have onions. And these onions I planted probably 6 or 7 weeks ago from bulbs. They've come up quite a bit. They're an early season crop, and they're looking pretty good. The next thing I've got beside them are tomatoes. I've got a lot of different tomatoes in the garden. We've got things from Better Boy, Early Girl is another variety. We've got some Romas, and then we've got a black Krim tomato that produces tomatoes that are kind of a dark blackish color on the inside. So those would be pretty cool if they survive. So those are our tomatoes. They've been planted now for quite a while, and they struggled earlier in the year. The next thing that we have are our cucumbers, and I've got this little fencing I put up with some extra fence that I had to help keep the dogs out. But I put this fencing up to allow the cucumbers to grow over them. This is the second set of cucumbers I've planted, but they're looking better than the first set. So we've got cucumbers there, just one row of those. We've got 2 rows of these bush beans, and I like to grow bush beans because I don't like to have all the extra effort of trying to put them on a trellis and dealing with that and the extra cost of having another trellis. So we've got 2 rows of bush beans that are coming along quite nice. And then we've got some zucchini that's coming up pretty good. We've got a couple holes there. We've got squash that I planted just this past weekend. Some black beans that I have, and these again are a bush bean variety. Some of them are coming up, some of them aren't. And then the last row I have for the raised beds is jalapeno peppers, and then we've got another tomato there on the end to fill out the row. So that's kind of the raised bed part of the garden. Then I've got a space where I'm going to put some more raised beds later in the year, and then I've got an area that I'm going to till up for corn later this week if it looks nice. And then we've got corn. We've got 2 varieties of corn. I've had a lot of issue with corn this year, so we have some video topics to talk about there, but I've got some corn rows that are coming along. They were planted yesterday or maybe the day before, but they've been watered, and hopefully they'll start to germinate within this week. And then we've got our potato towers, which is kind of a cool project. You can maybe see some potatoes coming up there, and that'll be a video topic as well. So with that, we're going to go on to the poll now. We have 5 different topics for you to choose from, and I've got the poll on the screen now so you can take a look at it in those topics. But what you'll do is you'll enter the poll. You can click whichever topic is most interesting to you and submit it. And then we'll look through those polls and see which topic was the most submitted, and that'll be the video for Friday the 15th. So we'll talk about some troubleshooting things in all of those videos. So those will be great. You can decide what you want to see. If we get a lot of people that are doing this, we'll do probably the top 2 or 3. If only a few people select one video, then we'll probably just do that one. We'll see how this goes, but take a look at the poll. You'll be able to see the responses as well. But that's it for this special edition of This Week in the Garden.